rabbits. Getting to know our furry four-legged friends with the help of Bun Buns, Puffball, Mini Bun Buns, Wombat, Timmy and Mrs. Pryor. So let's look at the appearance of a rabbit to start with. So the parts of a rabbit. So a rabbit has 2 eyes. A rabbit has very long ears. A rabbit has a nose. A rabbit has a mouth. And what you can't see is that they have some long, sharp teeth. They have this special area called the dewlap. They have feet, 4 feet. They have toes on each foot and sharp claws. This area around the back is called their hock. They have a tail, a short fluffy tail. This area is called their rump. They have hips, just like you and I. This area is called their loin. They have shoulders. They have a back. They have a neck. And they also have this special area called their flank. And they have a belly, of course. So rabbits' eyes are situated on the sides of their head. This is so that they can see lots of different things, because rabbits are a special kind of animal called a prey animal. A prey animal means that rabbits have bigger animals, predators, that like to try and catch them and eat them. So they have hunters. So their eyes allow them to see a lot, being on the sides of their head. The same with their ears. Their ears are very long, and when they're pointed upward, they can actually turn them about 180 degrees. So they can turn them to listen for sounds that could be in front of them, sounds that could be to the side of them, and sounds that could be behind them. Very important for a rabbit and its survival. Rabbits' bodies are covered in fur, and they come in a variety of different colours. So what do rabbits eat? What is their diet? So with any rabbit, about 80%, that means most of their diet, should be made out of grass or hay. This is so that they can grind down their teeth, because an interesting fact is their teeth never stop growing. About 10%, so a much smaller amount, should be made up of vegetables, and then the other 10% should be healthy pellets and healthy treats. Rabbits also need lots and lots of fresh water. Here is a short video. This is of my rabbits having their morning meal. So notice how rabbits pick the food up in their mouth. They chew very quickly, and they use their teeth to break down their morning or afternoon meal. Shelter, where do they live? So this is for house rabbits. So house rabbits live indoors. They can also live outdoors in a hutch. And there are some things that they need in their enclosure, the area that they live. So something they need fresh water. So that can either be put in a heavy bowl, heavy so that they don't tip it over, or it can be put into glass bottles that can be attached to the side of their enclosure. This ensures that the water doesn't get dirty with rabbit hair or poo, and so that it's nice and fresh for them all day and doesn't get knocked over. They also need a hay feeder, or somewhere where their hay can be stored, their dried grass that they eat. They need a hiding space. Rabbits like to hide. It helps them to feel safe. They need a litter tray. This is where they do their wees and poos. And their litter tray should be somewhere underneath where their hay feeder is. Rabbits often eat and go to the toilet at the same time. Where do wild rabbits live? So these are not pet rabbits. These are rabbits that live outdoors and they do not have anyone to look after them. So wild rabbits can live almost anywhere they are able to dig burrows. So wherever they can dig one of these are called burrows, they can usually live there. A burrow is an underground home and it helps to keep the rabbit dry and warm and protected from predators. Recreation. So how do rabbits keep themselves entertained? How do they have fun? So rabbits like to play with toys. Here are some examples. So a rabbit might enjoy playing with a tennis ball or maybe with some skittles, something they can move with their nose. If you have a look at this picture of Timmy and Wombat, they have a wooden chew toy in their room because they like to grind their teeth down. They love to chew. They will chew almost anything, which is why it's important to keep them in an enclosure because they also enjoy chewing things like furniture and skirting boards and other parts of your home. So reproduction, rabbit babies. So when a female rabbit is expecting to have a litter of babies, a litter means a group, then she will start making a nest. So this is called a nest. So she'll gather things like hay, but she'll also gather fur. So when a female rabbit is pregnant, when she's expecting a litter of babies, her fur will become quite soft and easy to pull out, and she will pull out some of the fur from the dewlap area or from her chest, and she will use it to make a nest, somewhere nice and warm and cozy for the babies to be born and to live. This is an example of a baby rabbit. A baby rabbit is called a kit or a kitten, and when they are born, they're a bit bigger than a jelly bean. They're very small. They usually don't have any hair yet, and their eyes are closed for a couple of weeks. And here's when they get a little bigger, so they're starting to look a bit more like rabbits now, and they're much smaller than an adult-sized rabbit. This is a photo of Bun Buns, the day that she gave birth to her litter of babies, or her kits. This is me with Puffball when she was a baby. This is a video of our litter of babies when they were moving around and very young. So I'm going to play that for you now. Have a look at how small they are, how they move around. There's even a cute pair of little bunny feet in there. And there's the bunny feet, the tiny little toes. And in this other video, here is an example of one of the bun babies having a drink from Bun Buns from its mother, because that's how mothers feed their babies. Rabbits are mammals, which means that the mother will make milk, and that's what the babies drink for the first few weeks of their life. Rabbit behaviour, how do they act? So rabbits often like somewhere where they can hide. If they feel scared, it just helps them to feel a bit safer. Sometimes even if they just want to relax, they might feel safer relaxing in a space where they can have a bit of cover and shelter. Rabbits are very social. They like to hang out together. So they might lay side by side. They may just sit in bunny loaves side by side. And bunny lobes, it's just a way of describing how their body is tucked up like that. That shows that they're quite relaxed, very happy. And sometimes when they're super relaxed, they will lay on their side. An interesting fact is that rabbits sometimes sleep with their eyes open. So some other forms of behaviour that you might see from a rabbit. So rabbits like to rub their chin on things. The reason for this is because they have a special gland underneath their chin, and that gland makes a scent. And what they do is they rub this scent on different objects, and when they do that, it means this is mine, I own it, and it's a signal to other rabbits to stay away from those things. Running and jumping. When rabbits are excited, they like to run and jump. And sometimes they'll even do a sign that they're very happy, which is something called a binky. They jump up in the air and they actually clap their feet together. This is a bit of a gross one. Eating poop. So rabbits will eat their own poop, not all of their poop, but they do make a special type of poo called a cecotrope. And that cecotrope, when they eat it, it brings good bacteria back into their digestive system, so back into their gut. Flopping over onto the side. So when a bunny is really happy and relaxed, they will flop. So they might just be sitting up and all of a sudden, flop, there they are on the ground. Digging at people. So sometimes if you are in a rabbit's way, they will actually dig at your feet or at your ankles. It's a way of telling you to please move. Stamping feet or thumping. When a rabbit feels scared or threatened, or they just want you to get out of their territory, they will stomp their foot. They might stomp and then run away. This is a sign that they are feeling threatened or scared. Carrying hay. So sometimes female rabbits will carry hay. They might be gathering it to make their nest. And yawning. Yawning, it's very cute. But when rabbits yawn, they stretch back to warm up their muscles. They open their mouths really wide and you can see all of their teeth and their little pink tongue. So here is a short video and it shows you an example of rabbits grooming. So this is Puffball and she's grooming Bun Buns. Have a watch. So notice how she was licking the fur of Bun Buns. That's a way of grooming, it's a way of being sociable. Rabbits are also very curious and playful. This is a short video of our bunnies when they were still very young kits, and we introduced the bunny ball pit to them, so a game for them to play. So watch how they're curious and how they are playful. Playful and fast. So rabbits can be very, very speedy, very quick, and they actually like to play with each other, and they also like to play with things like tunnels. So here's a short video just to give you an example of how they move and how they play. Life expectancy. So how long do rabbits live? Wild rabbits live from 1 to 2 years. Pet rabbits that live outdoors can live from 6 to 8 years. So they might have a hutch or an enclosure outside. Pet rabbits that live indoors live from 8 to 12 years. So when we think about that, domestic or pet rabbits, live a lot longer than rabbits in the wild live for. I wonder why that is. Maybe it's because pet rabbits that live indoors never have to worry much about food. The food is always supplied to them, so is their drinking water. Also, if I'm thinking about it, it's nice and warm inside. Whereas if it's a wild rabbit, they have to look for their own food, they have to find clean water, they also have to be careful of the temperature because it can get very, very, very hot outside, which is no good for rabbits, and it can also get very, very, very cold. And also, wild rabbits have to deal with predators. Remember we said before that rabbits are a prey animal. That means they have lots of other animals that hunt them for food. Some interesting facts. So rabbits belong to the order of mammals called Lagomorpha, which includes 40 or so species of rabbits, hares and pikas. So that's the scientific family that the rabbit belongs to, the Lagomorpha, and they're a type of mammal, and there are lots and lots of different kinds of rabbit. The record for the longest living rabbit is 18 years. And here's that fun fact about poop. So as gross as it may sound, rabbits make a special kind of poo that they eat. It's called a cecotrope. Rabbits eat it to reintroduce healthy bacteria into their digestive system. And now for some facts about what we call different parts of the rabbit family. So we've got a female rabbit, she's called a doe. A male rabbit is called a buck. A young rabbit is called a kit or kitten. And rabbits live in groups. Origins, that means where did they come from? Where did rabbits come from? So from looking at fossils, people believe that rabbits began in Asia at least 40 million years ago during the Eocene period, when the continents broke up and drifted apart. Now just to give you some information on that, millions of years ago all of the countries and continents were connected, they were joined together, but over time they broke up and they moved away from each other. So there were lots of different species of rabbits and hares that ended up on all the other continents. So North America, South America, Africa, Asia, but not Australia. Over on the left is an example of a fossil from a very, very early Lagomorpha. So European rabbits were introduced to Australia in the 18th century with the first fleets, when Captain James Cook first came over with the first fleet, so a large group of ships. That's when rabbits were first introduced to Australia. Hope that you've enjoyed this presentation on rabbits and that it helps you with your task.